Hey guys, Ted from Nerdarchy here, 4 Nerds by Nerds, hanging out with these guys.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Nerd is Steve.
And we got another GM 911 from Anjay, and he wants to know, he's got a group of 5th level players, how does he make the story designed for those characters? You know, he's used to running stories that are more linear, and now he wants to get it more,
Branch out.
Yeah.
Before we do any branching, go check the description below where you can find a link to Nerdarchy, the newsletter, where you're going to get weekly tips and tricks from Nerdarchy, as well as learn how to game with us and get exclusive bonuses only to the newsletter people.
Now, when we're talking about trees, right, we want to talk about the roots. So you want to have your story firmly rooted in the stories, the backgrounds of your players. So let's just do like the arborist metaphor the entire video. Oh man.
Well, Ryan does have a point. The backgrounds and the things that are picked by your character are going to feed your GM a lot of information
through photosynthesis, right? Yeah.
So look at their bonds, look at their flaws, look at all that personal trait that they give you.
And then the backgrounds are your first stop. You stop at the backgrounds, absolutely first, and like, what do I have? What's there the harvest?
So what is there? Not only from
that was an unintentional tree one, but yeah.
So the backgrounds, the backstories, all of that gives you so much information to work with. Who were they before they decided to become an adventurer?
How are they connected to one another, too? Right, super important.
That's another one.
Yeah, the root system. So, I'm thinking, Anjay here is overcomplicating it a little bit. I think he's like, how do I work all their backgrounds and backstories in at the same time?
You don't. That like
you start with the most interesting and work your way out
until you get to a point where they've all encountered, a similar. The same NPC or something that they're all rooted to. You just work at little pieces of the time. You've already had them adventuring together, or at least for this particular one. So the characters are already linked. They've adventured from level 1 to 5. They've done a quarter of the regular campaign arc already.
Yeah.
So
there should be a lot of linkages that they all have together.
So if you say, oh my God, the fighter needs somebody to go help, because his brother is being held captive. Okay, well, that character has a bond to his brother, and he left the brother home to take care of the family business so that he could become an adventurer. All right, well, now the brother's got to go,
Apparently there's problems at the florist shop. He's got to go see what's going on, help his brother out.
Yeah, that's right.
It's been burned down by a rival florist shop.
Yeah.
And who's going to help you but your buddies you've been adventuring with for the past 5 levels?
Absolutely. Right. So you take these little bits and pieces, and wherever, spread out all the information in front of you and see if you can find any connections that you might be able to weave a story with. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to use this aspect of this person over here, this person over here.
You vine up the trellis. You have your story. But no, so back to the florist shop that this guy's family owns, and the brother has been abducted, and there's a rival florist shop. Well, the rival florist shop is actually an evil druid that killed the mentor of the other druid in the party, right? So we have 2 connections right now branching out, and they both kind of correspond and go together. So
well, this is all just speculative. We don't actually have the character information, but
it works
as quickly as we came up with these things. Like, all of that is utterly possible based on the information that you have of these characters. So look at all of that person, your bonds,
you're gonna need a corkboard,
your ideals,
push pens, different colored strings, some sticky notes.
No. Look at those snippets of information. Look at the backstory. Look at the backgrounds that they've chosen, and anywhere that things cross or they have any kind of linkages, use it.
If your players have told you anything about their character, then you should be able to put some of that together and hey, maybe some of these characters are from the same town and know some of the same people.
Once you've got that, you can springboard off of there and find out what the players or the characters are looking for their future. What is it? Are they looking for a prestige class? Are they looking to get into some kind of title? Are they looking to have a their own business? And begin working towards meeting those goals. So anytime you've got an adventure where it's going to interact with the characters' desires and wishes or with their backgrounds, they're going to be more invested in the game. So just do that and you'll be golden.
Maybe you have every maybe they don't rate super in depth backgrounds on the character, but you just have every character tell them 3 things about their character to you or whatever.
And if you haven't done a Session Zero, you can always backtrack and do one as just kind of like a fact finding and getting more information. And if the characters weren't connected, you could kind of connect them now. At the end of the day, it really is a game. So like, if you feel like you want to or need to retcon stuff, do it. Who cares? Whatever makes the game more enjoyable going forward. Like, unless no one's turning this shit into a novel. So it doesn't matter. Like, whatever's the most fun.
Well, also too though, like when you read a book, unless something's relevant or like the author wants to take you there at that point, shit's not brought up until like, oh, in book 3 you realize that these guys are cousins and grew up together. But they didn't necessarily have to go into that right then and there, because not everything is as important and relevant in real life. Like, you don't have to go over the fact that like we've been gaming together for like over a decade or whatever. 2 decades. Yeah, like that doesn't always come up, but sometimes it does. Like, several videos later, like that came up in discussion. So.
Or like all 3 of us are related somehow.
Yeah. Right.
These different things that they can come out of the different times, and you can do the same thing in your game. Don't overcomplicate it, don't overthink it. Find a couple of the most interesting things and work out from there. And you can just spot like different characters during different sessions at
different parts of the campaign.
And some of that stuff will just reveal itself to you as you go along. So, I don't know. Down in the comments, you guys help Anjay out. Give him some suggestions. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can head over to nerdarchy.com and get some sweet swag.
Or also check out the articles while you're over there at nerdarchy.com.
So until next time, stay nerdy.